Alright, let's get this rolling, shall we? Hopefully everything's working as intended. We'll figure that out when we switch tabs. Hello, what's good? What's happening? Well, we should be live. It should be running as intended. Nice to see anyone that's in chat early doors. Hope yous are doing well. It's a pretty interesting game today, given the way that some of the other games played out earlier on. There's some interesting things that happened, but nonetheless, we've got a job to do in Paisley today. We're up against St Mirren. They're a good side in their own wee ways. Let's not be dicey about it. Defensively set, let's say, but they're not really known for scoring goals, so we have to kind of keep things rolling and ideally just kick on for what we did before the international break. And what an international break it was. How you all doing? Nice to see you as well. We shout the first few. Always nice to see you. Should hope you're doing well. I know the weather over there is pretty fucking miserable, so hope you're tolerating it as well as enough. Nice to see you, Kate. Nice to see you as well. Everyone else. Oh, how you doing, Kev? Nice to see you as well, mate. Hope you're all doing class. Nice to see you as well, Rob. But yeah, we ain't going to mess around with it too much today. I'm just pulling up everything that I need to pull up. Do bear with me. Sorry, this is a little bit of a late kick-off, so I had a bit more time to prepare things, but as usual, Google was doing its thing where it just won't show statistics as they're happening live for whatever reason, so it's going to be a live score today. It'll be a little bit further ahead than us, I'd imagine, by about a minute or two, so again, you will be able to see that screen. I won't, but nonetheless, we switch the screen. Here's what we've got. If you want a little gander at the lineups, there you go. We'll kind of leave St Mirren's up there if you want to take a gander at that one first. There's some interesting players that we can obviously kind of point out. For me, you'd have to say it would be Gogic. He's quite a good defender when he plays well. He's a wee bit hot-headed. Maybe we can take advantage of that. Certainly doable. But got some good midfielders. Obviously, Killian Phillips probably the pick of the bunch. Maybe Bacchus is a kind of left field shout, but pretty solid all around, to be fair. And obviously we know Mandrone, very tall physical boy, he can certainly get up in the air, so when it comes to set pieces we're going to want to limit that as much as we can. It'd be nice to keep the thing, well, keep our chances I should say, as low as possible. The thing for us is pretty much just kick on, do what we did before the international break, finish our dinner early, let's say, don't leave it to the 60th minute and then kind of grab a goal and we're defending very stale results. We want to kick on, we want a kind of, stable, comfortable type of performance, and my prediction down there is a good example of that. St Mirren are one of the few teams that have yet to break the 10 goal mark this season, and we're a good few games in now, so in terms of chance creation, not too good, you know what I mean. They're not going to be scoring many chances. If they get any, they will most likely come from set pieces, so limit the corners, limit anything within the 30-yard range should be relatively okay. What's our lineup? It's pretty much as, well, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect. I mean, the one surprising thing is that Donovan's on the bench. I didn't think he would make it back onto the bench, to be honest with you, but nonetheless, he is fitting fine. But our lineup is pretty much what you would expect. A pretty solid mix of players that you can rely on for sure. Schmeichel, Scales, Trusty, Ralston and Tierney. Obviously the hero less than a few days ago, man, he'll be coming back to a round of applause for everyone, even the St Mirren fans, for the work that he did just a few days ago. But the midfield three, I like it, I don't mind it too much. I mean, obviously you can make the case maybe Nygren should have been put into this lineup because he did actually have an alright international window with Sweden, but they finished horribly in their campaign, so maybe it's just a confidence thing. But it's McGregor, Rio, and like I said, on well, big arm, let's say. And I don't mind it. I think it's pretty much what you would expect for a game like St Mirren. Just keep things kind of composed. You don't want to be too attackive and aggressive. You know you're going to have a lot more of the ball than what St Mirren would probably prefer. Celtic will have comfortably over 60% of it, you would say, in this game. By the time even half time hits, full time, you're probably talking more towards the 70% region, especially if we don't have any goals coming in the first half. You have a feeling that the way we're set up, it's just to kind of limit what St Mirren can do when it comes to the counter-attacks. And again, having McGregor and Arns a pretty solid mix. They're two very physical players when they need to be. Rio's the one that can chase players down, so I don't mind that. It's a very, very solid kind of lineup. Obviously Ralston starting makes sense. He didn't get too many minutes over the last week or so, I mean, he's probably the most fit out of the bunch. And again, Donovan, like I said, if you want to look, he is on the bench. That is the surprising thing, but it'd be very surprising if we seen any minutes. But we do have Nygren on the bench, Dane Murray, McCowan, Bernardo, a couple of faces that you probably want to see at some point during this game, just in case tired legs kind of kick into effect, because there is a very important game pretty much midweek now, I'd actually say, right? We've got to take on we've got to take on Fireland, and I might not be live for that one. I want to kind of get this out the way early, mainly just because I have a lot of stuff going on that day. It would really depend. I'll try, but you know, as of now, it's kind of one of those just wait to see if the notification comes up. But nonetheless, we'll do what we need to do. I get a phone call, probably a notification for something. Yeah, just the kind of confirmed lineups for the teams there, but you're staring at them right now. Oh shit, Kieran, I hope you're alright though. I didn't see that other message. I hope you're okay. Damn. Hey, how you doing? Dad's gone crazy. Nice to see you, brother. Hope you're well. We've got a few minutes until kick-off, about give or take 3 or 4 as of this moment. Just going through all the necessary things that I can to see what we've got in terms of good feeds. I suppose that one would probably be the best, right, in terms of quality. Not too bad at all. So this is always fun setting all of this up. It's just I need to have like the fucking feeds running through. I mean, there was some interesting games earlier on, to be fair. I'm sure people were keeping an eye on the Rangers and Livingston's game. There was a couple of interesting decisions that were made in that one, but can't argue with it too much, let's be honest. Nice to see you, Harry. Hope you're well, mate. Hello to you as well. The boys are in the tunnel, we'll be heading out soon. So I'm working with very limited feeds today, which is always fun. But we'll read out the lineups once they're out into the pitch and exchanging their wee handshakes and stuff. It's really ripping the piss with that one. Let's go with this. We'll pull that up on the side there. You should be able to now. At the very least, yeah, I mean that should be fine enough. It's basically a full screen and all that stuff. Liverpool got humped again. It does not surprise me the fucking slightest, man. I mean, high school's one of those ones, man. It's I hope it's nothing too serious, kid. At the very least, like genuinely, it's shit when you hear stuff like that, man. Let's go with this one then. That's fine, that's not what I'm caring about. What I am caring about is this. That's fine. Righto, let's get everything that needs to be kind of set up here now. And we should be kicking off in about, well, I mean technically we'll be kicking off relatively soon. I guess we'll see how delayed I am. Probably by at least a minute or two, at the least I would say. That's why I hate old ass computers, man. Yeah, I mean the penalty call was definitely interesting. Well, I mean the lack of penalty call, I should say, was interesting. It was about as clear as a handball as you could see, to be honest. But it's one of those, right? I can't really argue with it too much. And again, it kind of shuts them up for all bullshit decisions that they can silence themselves for a little bit. Nice to see you, James. 3 points is all that matters, exactly that. Like I said, I'm not expecting us to go full balls to the wall and absolutely clean them out today. I think it would be very rare to expect anything above like a 3 or 4-0 against St Mirren. While they don't score goals, they're pretty defensively set, so you know I don't see it being as comfortable. But while they read out the lineups, I should do it the same for. Well, we should start with St Mirren, to be honest with you. It's Jamal George that starts in between the sticks for Eccleston. Gogic, as aforementioned, the one to watch, I would say, defensively. He can probably cause a lot of damage on set pieces too. And Marcus Fraser, they got Jaden Richardson, Killian Phillips, I should say, sorry about that, Conor McMenamin, Keanu Bacchus, and of course Declan Jones starting on that left hand side. And you've got Michael Mandron and Dan Nalundulu. Very cool name. I wish I had the ability to pronounce that naturally, but unfortunately syllables ain't a Scotsman's strength. For Celtic, our lineup is, as you would probably expect, as we touched on earlier on. Schmeichel starts in between the sticks, Tierney and Ralston starting the fullbacks spots respectively with Skills and Trusty as our two centre backs. It's going to be Engels, Rio and McGregor starting, but keep in mind McGregor will most likely be the central man. The front three, as you would expect, Dyson Maeda, Kenny and Tunekte. All we want is a good performance. We're about to get underway here. St Mirren are in their classic pinstripe white and black. We're playing in the kind of bumblebee kit, but hopefully a decent performance to be had. It's sent forward immediately by St Mirren. Let's see where the pressure touch goes. It's not the greatest touchdown, to be fair, so there's slight pressure there. We can take advantage of it if they want to step in early, but they're trying to actually go for blood out the gate. Not too bad at all. Takes a slight deflection and doesn't work out there. And so back in St Mirren possession, and Gogic can set himself up to potentially go for something again here, but as soon as you would expect that, like I said, you've got McGregor that's trying to get physical, Rio chasing down any loose ball. You can see what the tactics are for Martin O'Neill. The thing with Robinson's side is that, well, he's going to need to count on the few chances that he probably gets. Once the stats thing comes up, I'll switch over to that, which takes like a minute or two to build up on these types of things. Not for fuck's sake. Not fun kidding. You're going for a Kenny hat-trick. I mean, to be fair, even though he didn't score for Ireland, the little bits that you've seen of him over that international break were quite promising. There's a chance for us to get out of the back there. How's the touch inside? Not too bad. Kenny does win the flick on, ironically enough, and we have a chance to counter-attack now, straight down that right-hand side. Ralston funnels it, Kamenov step inside, nothing too complicated from us. That's Kamenov, played right towards the byline. There's going to be a chase down. Dyson will get there comfortably as well. Lay back for on, good play between. It's not the greatest touch for Maeda, but I respect the fact he tried to funnel his way in there. He might have probably been offside anyway if the ball was played in behind and it did stand, but close. Very, very close. Play camera in the dog. I mean, to be fair, the thing with St Mirren Stadium is very low to the ground going naturally. There's not a lot of kind of height. I don't mind it too much, and again, they've packed out their stands. The buddies have come out in force today, and again, they're trying to engage a press. And London tried to force a little bit of pressure there on Trustable, played out for the back for Celtic, and actually very calmly played across the midfield too, and there's all of a sudden a more or less a 5v5 break. So Mirren will start piling bodies back. Tunekte's there, he's got Tierney on the byline if he needs to use him, but lays it back for the skipper instead. One or two bounce arounds, it's still in Celtic possession, not particularly decisive. There could be a shot for range here potentially, but it is Ralston, so he'll play it short and inside. The touch isn't the greatest from Dyson. He'll play the way. And actually a very calm pass for Ndulu. It's going to put some pressure on Trustes to cut across, get it out for a throw in. Not too bad at all. There's the stats there, we can bring it up. Are we winning it? Not quite. We'll be getting there. Probably just the possession stats, I suppose they'll update over time. We'll get a refresh in a minute or two if things don't update at some stage. That's a good ball into space actually. Well played back, comfortable lay off. There's a break down that left hand side. Oh, it's not the worst cross for John, but probably not the power he was looking for. So for a throw in on the far side, so still dangerous enough. And like I said, they've got a lot of tall boys in that side. Again, they've got Mandron up front. Pretty sure what height is he? Like 6'2", 6'3" at least. Got to say with both our strikers, it's kind of how Livingston operates with their kind of system. That Yenge fella, they just big boy up front, smack the ball forward with long balls, try and force the issue a little bit. Here comes that long throw in. Let's see how it's defended. It's awkward, not fully cleared away. Bacchus has it, could just lay it back into space, and Phillips forced all the way back essentially towards Gogic. He'll have to lay that across, and they'll have to maybe go for a long swing in here if things get desperate for space. That's what they try to do. Celtic blocked the first one out, still retained. I think it's came off Tierney for a corner on that far side, not too bad. When you think we'll appoint a manager, based on the way that the AGM meeting went, might take a little bit of extra time, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure based on what Martin O'Neill's saying, right, like there's clearly someone that they've got in mind and someone that they're in extended talk with, but there's apparently this whole thing where Nancy hasn't even really been made aware that we're after him. So I'm kind of confused myself. It could take into mid-December, to be honest with you, as long as it's in by the the January transfer window. Then that's more or less ideal for most of us. I don't think too many of us would complain. Might as well chase that down, put some pressure on the goalkeeper. It's going to be sent far and wide. Nice header by Tierney, forces it back into the midfield. Celtic should retain this. Kind of what you would expect in the opening exchanges. Celtic not really trying to test the waters too much. More or less gauging what St Mirren's game plan is. That's a good ball forward if the touch is there, but should be cut out quite calmly in the end there by Fraser. Like I said, they don't score many goals, St Mirren, but defensively they are one of the more well-set teams. But if you manage to break them early, they tend to score, well, concede a lot more than just the one. It tends to be 3s and 4s with them, so that's why you're kind of hoping that we're not waiting until like the 70th, 75th minute before that first goal comes. That's a decent chance for St Mirren. Well cleared away again by Tierney. Seem to be funneling a lot of their chances down that right hand side. Still awkward-ish. Scales does well enough there, I don't mind that at all. Prioritises getting away, but it's dangerous and played out to that far side. Here's John. Going to take his man to the byline. Across, it's dangerous! Oh, that is a big chance for St Mirren. I think it was McMenamin that made that run towards that far side. It's like, got to say, it's a huge chance for this, massive chance for the Buddies actually. Just didn't get his leg out in time. It's a well placed ball across the kind of face of the 6-yard box, and he gets a foot to it, but he might have just been wise leaving that for his man at the far post there. So Mirren will try to break forward again here, but again, Celtic doing what we need to do and just gets out from the back. Got to say, first major chance goes the way that's definitely going the way of the Paisley boys. That was fucking, you'd almost say a sitter. You can get why he missed it, but if he reacts a millisecond quicker, it could have been very good for them. A class stop, but at the same time, it should be a wake-up call for us. That's them hit their big chance, maybe fucking limit the damage for here. Like I said, that's why we've got that extra man in the midfield. Prioritise trying to keep them quiet where we can. After the AGM, I wouldn't blame Nancy, send their call straight to voicemail. Yeah, I mean, why would you want to trade Columbus? Is it not a bad wee place? I'm not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Maybe he got caught in between two minds on that far side. Not the worst idea in the world. It's not going to be too much of a threat. Gogic is pointing and shouting at everybody. Martin O'Neill's out of his dugout, just observing the potential damage that we've experienced so far. Nothing too great. 4,000 though. I don't even know what would the statistics be in terms of like goal every like fucking basically almost every second. That's not the greatest touch for Tierney. Gives the ball away poorly. Does well to stay with his man. Deflects out for a corner, a fucking throw in. Around the halfway line, it beats Skin. Stopped there, played out to the wing, and then you've got a much more awkward scenario there. So it's actually a well-timed step in for KT, but not the greatest first touch to put him in that position. I think the defenders just need to maybe settle themselves a little bit more. Swung into the box. This time Tierney gets it away. Like I said, a lot of the attacking for St Mirren is being barrelled down that right-hand side. There's another dangerous chance. It's just bouncing around, still retained, far side. Fraser, cross, not too dangerous, but still could get... Oh. And that's a good claim for Schmeichel, and that's for fuck's sake, man, what a challenge that is. Don't know if that was Freckleton or not, but the step in there was fantastic on my Maeda to cut him out, but Celtic have retained it back and sent it forward, and there is a chase down that far side. If Tenek can get there, and he can. Tunisians put under instant pressure, so he'll have to cut it back across, but Celtic are a lot further up the field now, into the final third. Good switch across towards Anthony Ralston, let's see where he goes. Might just be forced out to the byline here, here's Dyson. Not the greatest touch for Arn. Right idea to try and like take it in towards himself and then lay it back, but again, just one or two loose touches. I don't know what the fuck the Mirren striker was doing. He just punted that shit in the orbit. Can't blame him. I suppose that's fair. Schmeichel gives you the feel. Well, he also gave us one of the best moments of our week, let's be honest. We actually got to experience what it's like to be like opposing Schmeichel and knowing that he can be beaten for range, man. That McLean goal was an epitome and of like a encompassment of everything we know that Schmeichel is bad at. But he's not looked out of place this game. A few balls out for the back have been pretty respectable. Some good play around here. Maybe there's a chance now. Ralston goes for an overlapping kind of cross and it's way too lofted, so the keeper comes out, claims it calm enough and just punts it forward, and there's only one of us back, two of their attackers. Trusty's just going to have to head that back into Schmeichel's hands, calm enough, and then turn a low pass out from the back and we can start that counter attack again. We have to really at least look a bit more composed on the ball. It's just a bit dicey at times in there. Few scenarios where he does well to hold that one up, but there's my case in point. It's just nothing looks comfortable. I know a few of them will just be coming back for international breaks, and probably a few of them will still be hungover. Let's be honest. But you want to see them be a bit more composed here, nothing too silly at the goddamn very least. I feel like this would be Schmeichel's last season anyway before he gets moved on. We can't really make the same mistake that we did with Joe Hart. We keep that because that extra season basically killed a lot of the good work. And again, I like Casper as a person. It's just I'm in agreement. I think Sinisalo should probably be getting a couple more minutes. I hope, like, when it comes to the cup runs anyway, maybe we play him for those. I don't expect him to get the League Cup final. I imagine that would be Casper, but for the actual Scottish Cup, yeah, get Sinisalo a run and see where the kind of comparison levels are at. You might have something that's worth considering. And you never know, the new manager might come in and instantly make that change himself. I'll have to wait for a second, someone got brought down. Yeah, Scales went through the backies, man, that's valid enough. You'd almost call that a dead leg situation. Almost a dead leg situation. Yeah, they're lining up to go for a zonal cross. This is interesting. Not something I was expecting. They're kind of lining up across the back end, so they're going to go for this one, definitely. It's just going to be a case if they whip it low or if they go high and loft it. Most of them are near the back end, so you'd imagine it would be the latter option. Let's see what happens. It is high and lofted, goes past everybody. Jesus Christ, it was a good ball across the box though. But the Celtic defenders did exactly what they needed to do, blocked out any potential runs down that far side. Oh, virtually it was just a joke. The entire thing was very silly, to put it nicely, you know what I mean. Get their feelings up a wee bit and they cancel it because they can't handle it, but they're more than happy to sit there and bitch behind closed doors. It's just a bit disrespectful. There's a good break forward, Trusty. Nice. Pass out. Here's Maeda. He's got the run in support of Ralston if he needs him, but he opts to go direct. That's a good breaking chance. It's still dangerous. Not really clear the way though. Tierney pops it back out. Tenecte, not the greatest first touch, but gets under his feet for the second. Couple of step overs. Gets into space. It's not a bad shot for Tenecte at all. It sails just over the bar on far side, but First real chance of the game, you would say, for Celtic. Not a bad one either. Stands his man up well enough, gets past him, hits it hard and hits it with a lot of whippage, but just doesn't bend towards that far post in time. Oof. Yeah, that reverse angle shows you. Not a bad wee effort at all. Can't argue with that. Jesus Christ, it's doing that thing again, of course it is. Fuck's sake, there we go, that should fix that, my bad. That's what I'm talking about. No respect for the Scottish League. Nobody wants to update things in real time, you need to refresh every fucking few minutes. It's a good pop up over the back actually, stole by Mirren. They'll have to try and hold that one up, but Mirren was never going to have the easiest battle there. Good pass across, left hand side. Tierney's going to just run this past the halfway line. Connect, he's got it. Cuts it back for Scales. Tierney's still penciled up there, so almost like a 3v3 situation. Ralston's under a bit of pressure, has to get it back towards Casper, and that's the issue with having someone that overlaps high up. Putting a lot of strain on the far side to cover up those spaces at the back, and Mirren are seemingly aware of that. It's probably why they're funneling a lot of their attacks down that right hand side, because realistically it's their best bet if they want to kind of stretch their defensive line out, or at least make it a lot less set. That's a bad giveaway as well. Jesus Christ, man, we're not really looking convincing at all in the opening stages. I'll be real sent forward, so Mirren chased down. Casper's there right at the edge of his box just to gather it. He seems to have a thing where he's hitting it hard and low now, rather than trying to like punt it out and high. It's more like set and regimented. I don't mind that because he's just kind of lofting it out, which is actually not a bad wee tactic, especially when we know we've got the more technically able midfielders, I would say. You've got to get Phillips and back as they're due. They're stepping in and making it difficult. The midfield battle isn't one-sided by any means. Especially when you have them condensing in to win the ball like that. It's gone forward and they've got the chance to hold it up here. They'll get it towards the byline. Slight slip there on that poof. There we go, yeah. Another poor cross, let's say. Right idea to try and get down that line, but he was always going to have a bit of an issue there. There was a slip for a Celtic player that could have made it a lot more awkward though. I can't argue with that, to be fair. I think it's just some of the things that they said immediately rubbed us the wrong way, and the fact that they tried to label people as bullies for having like valid concerns with where the money's going. It's a strange one, for sure. Can't really argue with that. Oh, that's a giveaway. We should have a break chance there. That's maybe a card, at the very least a foul. Yellow card's coming out for Mirren, first one of the game. And as for their skipper, he's not happy about it, but I have to say it stopped a quite obvious run down that left hand side for the Tunisian. Yeah, I mean, he stops, gets in his way. I get why he's pissed off. It might, in his eyes, more or less be a foul, but Fraser's in the book nonetheless. Well, maybe we can do something with this. A nice wee set piece into the box potentially. We know how good Scales can be on set pieces. He got on the end of 2 knockdowns for Ireland over his international break. It'd be lovely to see him do something similar for us. It's just to the byline, not 1 or 2 step overs laid back, and we're pretty much where the free kick was taking place for without any real progress whatsoever. Fantastic. Trusty's just going to end up going back to Schmeichel. So what the fuck was the point in that then? What was the idea? I'm going to guess that Tenetti was meant to cross it early and he just didn't, and it's fucked that entire set piece play up essentially. But hey, fair enough I guess. Laid out towards that far side, still held up well. Rio come back, here's the skipper, lays it on a plate for Trusty to take any option he wants here. Pretty open lane, cuts it inside. It's actually not a bad wee pass. Ralston's there, got an overlap if he needs to take it. Good for Ralston, really good feed for Ralston, gets into space. Nice ball across, and there's a lot of time and a lot of opportunity for us to do something. We've got numerous bodies in that box, still not cleared. Good 1-2 passing from us, keeping it close and more importantly on the ground, not trying to do anything too clever. Takes a bounce out there, throw in far side. Not too bad. Wee bit of sustained pressure. Could be worse. To be fair, you can't shit in Scottish tap water, it goes hard. Comparison to other countries, man, that shit's, you know, it's like God's nectar. You can't say either keeper's been overworked, neither of them have pretty much had a save to make. But again, St Mirren definitely had the better of the chances. Tenecti's wasn't half bad at all, but nice wee pass for Schmeichel there. Lovely touch on for Tierney as well. It's just not retained. It's unlucky for Rio. You can see what he's trying to do. Celtic have won it back though on the break and potentially could run it to the... what the fuck? Well, we could have. But Tenetti just didn't have the ball completely under his control, that's it. I guarantee you that will be a thing that will happen in the future as well. You'll have some club that's in like the 5th, 6th tier of England, like a fucking, like, you know, like a Darlington or like a Crewe Alexandra or something like that, and they'll be like, yeah, we bought this guy using Klarna. I mean, technically, isn't that what some teams do when we make signings? And, you know, or more importantly, if we sell players off, there's always like a sell-on fee, or there's like a, oh, you pay like fucking 25 million now and then 5 million, 5 million. It's, you know, technically football's always had its own version, if you think about it. Yeah, case in point, Kev, case in point. Our shit's just run straight for the Springs up north, man, it's class. Good pop up for scales there, no. For Hassel, good for Ralston there, heads it on, potential chase down here. Nice wee pull back for Tenetti though, just kind of kills any chance of him losing the ball there. Tierney has it. Oh, that's a good pass. Good for McGregor, spreads it across. Even better pass for Ralston to open it up for Maeda. Run on that far side and he can take his man on, but St Mirren have 2 men there. Ralston's just loitering in case he can be an anchor. Played back by Maeda, not the greatest choice to cut it back to McGregor because you're pretty much back to square one, but there's a cross into the box. It could be dangerous. Cleared away by Gogic. Well touched down, fucking excellently touched down by Phillips. But they've given it away in a part. Well, that's a foul. Apparently there was a pull on the shot. There's complaints for the Celtic players and a couple of words at exchange. Let's see if there was a shot pull. Yeah, there was, to be fair, from Rio. Bit silly, but more than valid. Yeah, maybe we need to start considering then shit like that if they want to play that game where they want to argue like that, because I fucking hate the fact that it's like, oh, we can't spend money because of rules and regulations. Like, bro, most teams tend to run in fucking losses when they make signings. That's how you know there's a club that's trying to make as many as they can. That's awkward, fuck's sake. really struggle to see how they're going to try and justify that. I think it was offside anyway, maybe there was a foul on man on push and he's complaining to the referee. He'll take a look back. He's onside, but he does, yeah, he gets a little bit too handsy with Ralston, let's say. You wouldn't expect the big bricky to go down that easy though, kind of understand his point, but nonetheless, two-hand contact, foul none. That's it. Straightforward and simple. As was that pass for Rio, good stuff for Hatate. It's going to be played out again. Ralston has it. He's getting a lot more touches of the ball than you would expect. Good switch towards his full-back counterpart here, and he just bundles it down the line to Nekte. If they're attacking down the right-hand side, we're doing a lot of our attacking down the fucking left. Cut across, Ralston's touch at least kills the ball for Maeda to run onto. It's not the worst there. But yeah, once again we just end up going backwards. Trusty eventually picks a pass out towards someone near the midfield line. Tierney out towards Tenekte again. Those two will have a lot of passes early stages. Probably, I'd say Tierney's up there with the most passes in this game, if not Ralston. Trusty, chase down, good step inside. Ralston's going to have to take that in towards space, and again we're running around and then picking out little passes here and there, but it's not really into any particularly dangerous territory. It takes the deflection off a Mirren man there, and it's out for a throw in just across the halfway line. Internal investment. It's the easy way to kind of say that one, Breeze. I mean, Bodo's probably the best example of that, kind of using what's available to you, working within your means, and then if you have good players, don't just let them go for nothing. Convince them to stay for the project, or if you do sell them on for enough profit that you can replace those key parts of your squad with equally better players of the same value that you would kind of need to have a decent run in, like a Europa League or hell, even Champions League to some extent with Bodo. And if they're able to do that in the Norwegian League, there's no reason why we can't do it in the Scottish League. So, like I said, it's just them kind of trying to like fluff the tracks a little bit, make it a lot more subjective. What the fuck did Ralston just let his man through there? That was a silly mistake. Corner kick for St Mirren. Just allowed his man to get in behind. At that point, you had the centre back up behind Ralston and everything. Freckleton was in a chase down. Could have been awkward. McGregor's having a word with the referee. He's not too happy, but a lot of yapping in this game for damn sure. Oh, nice to see you, Stephen. So you get beat. Oh, Jesus. Last time I checked, it was about the warm-up for the game. I'm guessing Newcastle must have scored afterwards. Who would have scored for them then? If it's not one of their centre-backs, because it always tends to be their centre-backs, it'll probably be someone like a fucking Harvey Barnes. I'd hope it would be him, man. Cross in a box. Hit it! Oh, that's a big chance for St Mirren. Still dangerous, and oh, clips the first side of the post. That really could have honestly been 1-0 there. For the second time, it's McMenamin that just about doesn't get it into the net. How the fuck did we keep that first one out? Just got someone in the way at the last second. It bundles back out towards the Paisley men in the first. Oh, it's not a bad hit at all, actually. Takes it on his chest, one touch to set himself, and then he hits it hard, and it just cannons off the post far side. Yeah, definitely doesn't look promising for us, I'll say that much. St Mirren should have they really could be 1-0 up by now. We try to get it into space, but that one's over it, because of course it isn't straight into the hands of the goalkeeper on their side. Damn. Oh, I kind of check my sub count every now and then. I think once or twice at the end of the stream to see if people subscribe, but most of my viewers pretty much already are, to be honest, which I do not mind. That'll be a decent wee community for a fucking hobby, man. I'll take it. Aye. Spot on, Virtual. Spot on. That's a good cross. Oh, could have been awkward. Cleared away in the end, but... oh, fuck off. The flag was up for offside anyway, so that was pointless. Cool, I guess. You got to say, it's been pretty poor from us. It's what I said about the possession. We're fucking cruising on that front. But only one real shot, and it wasn't on target, so... considering the fact we're a third of the way through this game, not exactly positive, I'll be fully honest with you. Keith Mirren not due. Considering the fact they've only scored 8 goals in the fucking league up to this point, they seem to be the more threatening team in attack right now. Granted, we're a second half team by trade, but I don't think Martin O'Neill will be too impressed by much of what he's seen here. It's been a lot of backwards passing, a lot of side to side stuff. You feel like this is a Rodgers incorporated performance, you know. Ah, spot on, Breeze. And they thought it was a sure thing against Kyrat and didn't invest when they should have. Oh, Ralston's got himself in a catch-22 there and just kind of panic passes it out. It's not exactly great from us here. We're trying to win the ball back in the midfield. That's a great pass though, maybe a chance for us. What the fuck is that? I've got to be honest, Kenny, that is the worst shot we'll probably ever see, full stop. I really hope that took a deflection or something, but no, I highly doubt it. He just punted, like he caught it on his other foot before he shot, so just cannoned out miles that way. I mean, it would technically count as a shot, but not shown to get back to the dilemma. You can't be arse standing there mid-November in fucking Baltic conditions. Oh, good step over. Should be a throw in for us on the far side anyway. Yep, and the 3 points that way. Well, it's definitely a pure come down for grace for the games that we were watching over the week, over the last week or so. The games against Greece and Denmark, man, I'm still baffled about how all that went. This is night and day between that, because holy shit, has this been quite boring from us in a lot of ways. In terms of chance creation, absolutely, there's been basically none of it. Laid off towards the end, here's on, lays it off far side, Tierney, ball in, dangerous enough, but cleared away by one of the St Mirren shots. I didn't honestly see who, my apologies for that much. Lundunu does not seem very happy on that far side. He's kind of jumping about, arms in the air. Not too chuffed with that clearance, I guess, from his defensive counterparts, but likewise, we're not exactly doing much with it. Our defensive counterparts are just passing it amongst themselves. Scales eventually sends one forward, but it's straight in no man's land. Gogic wins that one and should be easily retained. Bacchus does well enough, plays it back towards his keeper. George is going to be maybe forced to do an early clearance, but Kenny doesn't chase him down too severely, so he's got time to place it. Scales wins the first one. Gogic takes the second one down on his chest. Actually not a bad idea. Tries to hook it in behind, doesn't necessarily work out, and after one or two passes and a calm little kill touch for Scales there, we can build up for the back and potentially go again, but oof. Yeah, you want to see a bit more from Maeda on the attack in front. He's not got past Freckleton too many times, let's be honest. Even though his games were... See, the one thing that I'm glad that people are realising with international fixtures, like, unless you're English, basically, then you know that your team's going to get through the qualifiers and stuff, like, national football is the only real version of football left where you're playing for the badge. like authentically. You don't get paid. That's a poor giveaway. Maybe half potential of a full, but can't honestly agree with it. Played out far side to Mirren. That's a takedown potentially. There's a lot of claims for a penalty in that far side, but apparently the pocket was picked and clean enough. Referee waves play on. Laid across, and now Celtic have a chance to counter-attack. I don't want to judge it until I see it back. It looked like an alright enough challenge, but you always kind of tense up when you see someone go down in the box. And if he wasn't buying whatever they were trying to sell. Oh, rail's been taken out there. And again, referee doesn't seem interested at all. At least he's letting it go all the way, man. If it's a physical battle, then it tends to be all over the pitch. Let's see what happened here. Nah, he's fucking looking for that 100%. No contact at all. It looked like he caught him on the way in. Not even that much. We're fine. Get him enough. To be fair, they're learning. Other teams are learning that the SFA will do that. Just make it awkward for VAR and they'll fucking give it usually more often than not. I can understand it, but a little weird considering the fact that Mirren are technically playing the better stuff right now. Like I said, we've had more of the ball. The passing's not been horrifically bad, but that's about it. Chance creations at basically zero. There's nothing going for us in a lot of aspects. We need to start trying to break out from the back, and more importantly, try and use the fucking wings at least a little bit more. There's a... Did it come off his hand, I guess? Fair enough, I guess they slowed down for that. Exactly that. If you want an example, just look at Robertson's interview after Scotland qualified, or Troy Parrott's after they won the game against Hungary. Well, playing for your club is all well and good, but you should always give a fuck about your national team, man. It's probably the only real passionate side of it left, and even then, rich people try to fucking ruin that as well by just overpricing World Cup prices, you know, like tickets especially, fuck me. But you just know the second that the dates are confirmed of what team plays well, they'll just coincidentally fucking treble in price, you know, plane tickets and things like that. You can see it coming. It's the only thing about North America. We'll try and find a way to scalp every fucking European that's coming over for all they're worth. A knockout ticket prices they're going to be extortionate, man. Especially for the World Cup final. There's already talk that most of the tickets are going for like 6,000 up in dollars, which is still, you know, the equivalent of like 4.8k here. It's a fucking expensive ass ticket if you want to see that game. But I don't see us getting to the World Cup final, so I do not care. That's why it'd be fun to get drawn against like a Canada or a Mexico. At least you know one of the games would be affordable. That's a good pass forward. Or surely that's a foul, man. I was going to say, he's got dragging them all about the place. So man, I'm starting to get a bit physical themselves, man. There's a pull on the shirt, and then yeah, on pulls him back, and then yeah, just pulls him down. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Yeah, who runs FIFA, my guy? People. People that only have the interest of making as much money at the heart of it. It's always the fans that take the brunt of it. That's the sad thing. You just know that like America's games are going to be full of fucking celebrities that are just there to look like they care about the sport. That's the part that will piss me off. Like I thought it was fake for a whole list of reasons, but it's going to be like a different type of fake in America. It'll all be pure plastic ass fans and just those that had the money to go to the games. the real fans will carry that tournament though. Especially if you have the Irish going there, you've got like fucking teams like Argentina and Brazil that will be bringing up their numbers in force. Mexico are passionate as fuck, man. You can already tell they'll make as much noise as possible. Hell, even Norway's going to be bringing some fire. That's a poor touch for you, Ralston. Jesus Christ. But even we smaller nations, I'm sure everyone's seen Curacao qualifying. That's going to be fucking incredible, man. I'm so pleased for them. Country less than like, what is it, fucking 150 odd thousand people in the qualifiers. You're like, fair enough, honestly. Had to draw with Jamaica and they did. But enough about that for now. We've got 5 or so minutes left in this half with whatever's added on of additional time, I'd imagine. So maybe 1 or 2 chances before then would be quite nice for us. That isn't. Good pass inside. That's a good cutaway for Rio. Have a shot, big man. Doesn't, but gets out to space. Kenny doesn't get the shot away in time, and it's just not good for the Irishman, I'll be honest with you. Very ghost-like half, just hasn't really been there. Yeah, kinda. But there's a call coming out tonight. He's been booked. First one for Celtic tonight. Call it a professional foul on Phillips. Not the smartest idea in the world. Because yeah, this game's gone very stale very quickly. Not too much has happened since like the kind of 25th minute. It's more or less been they fall over, we fall over. Stop, start, stop, start. Side to side passing. And amongst 3 genuinely okay chances. McMenamin should have definitely had one. At least one goal by now. Absolutely fucking should have at least had one by now. The one off the post was unlucky, but oof, this one's awkward. Jesus Christ. Eventually Star Clear trusted the one to do so. Fair enough, big man. Well, it looked like it came off a Mirren man, but throwing far side for them has been called. 1 or 2 half appeals, but back his team up to throw in long again, as you would expect. I don't know how we're doing for likes on this stream, but as long as we're doing relatively okay for it, then I'm not going to complain too much. It is a late ass kick-off. Most people are probably winding down or forgot about this game even happening. There's obviously the talk about the game tomorrow though. That one's quite big for the league. You've got Aberdeen hosting Hearts. That's one of the kind of topics of conversation we're discussing that. Oh, dangerous. Still not cleared. Mirren get a chance away. That's a big opportunity and they've missed again. Couldn't keep it down. Jesus Christ, man. It was very 50-50 where it was for Eccleston, that defender at the back that just kind of popped it miles over the bar, thankfully. 50, yeah, cool. 5 more and we're pretty much at the standard pace for these types of late kick-offs. We'll take it. Pretty solid. Thank you for anyone that has done so. Got to say, better team in the first half has 100% been St Mirren. Again, we've had some good passing moments, that's probably about it. Very limited things to be excited about in this one for us so far, I'll be totally fucking real. We're going to need something in the second half, and by something I mean literally pretty much fucking anything else, because this has been stale as shit. Besides that Tenecti chance, there's been almost nothing of note created inside that box. We've been in the box a few times, we've danced around, passed it around, but no real end product when it comes to actual good opportunities. We need a key chance, that's the difference, like a massive key chance. Tierney's got it on the far side. Goes for a cross, popped up, cleared away by St Mirren again. Andron's going to make it awkward, cuts it back, McGregor slips, but he should actually beat his man to it. There you go. That's how fast he can get up off his feet. That one's overclocked, but should just be left for Dyson to run onto. Good pass on, doesn't deal with it, but again. Oh, Freckleton's alright, okay, I thought he went down with an injury. There was probably just something in his shoe. Fixes it and right back up, fair enough, can't complain of that. Half time's pretty much just on the referee's whistle now. Gonna go, need to make thumbnails. Fair enough, Caden, wee man. Why are you making so many thumbnails? Well, there is half time in this one. I've got to be honest with you, very, very shit half from us in a lot of aspects, man. Nothing that we can say is convincing at all. St Mirren have had the better chances. We've had more of the ball, that's about it. And you got to say, it's not exactly trying to capitalise on the spare game in hand that we have over other teams in the league, let's say. 3 points here is kind of crucial, especially if we want to keep the chase alive. There were some pretty interesting results across the league today. Like I said, you had, Livingston losing to Rangers, and I put Rangers in 4th. Obviously, with Hibs' win, they're in 3rd right now, I think. I feel so bad for you. See, if I knew that this was how the first half would be, man, I'd honestly have just not went fucking live for it, to be honest. It's been a very stale ass half, but, I said the exact same thing in the last match between Scotland and Denmark. We got to half time and like, what the fuck was that? And then the second half popped off and things got a lot more interesting, but this is different. This is different. I mean, I got a really good early birthday gift with us qualifying for the World Cup, man. Fuck's sake, first game back after turning 25 and we got this shit happening. Not good. Only one shot on target technically and it was blocked. Well, I guess we have a pretty standard 10-15 minute wait before the second half kicks back up, but we can just kind of vibe here for now. If there's any other games going on, I can check out what's going on. Let's have a look, see if there is any games that are running on right now. Nothing on this. What about the Bundesliga? I'm actually just kind of curious because I know that Dortmund were playing earlier on. I want to see what their score ended. 3-3 between them and Stuttgart. Jesus Christ. He has a game that has drama in it, man. Jesus. Fair enough, fair enough. 2 goals past the 8th minute. Jesus. Why did our Victor's Bob Marley? Jesus. What's happening in the hood, Verge? The second half is like the first I might take up tan and bleach. Now that's valid, honestly. This has been very, very bad on a lot of fronts. I mean, I get that we're away from home. That's about the only thing you can maybe say, like, oh right, cool, maybe they're just not comfortable, whatever. But at the end of the day, they have mustered one genuine chance, I would say, in 45 minutes, and St Mirren could have honestly been 1 or 2 up by this point. And McMenamin had scored that, specifically that first chance, the one where it came across the face of the 6-yard box, and he just couldn't stick his leg out quick enough. That would have changed the entire tone of this game, because they wouldn't have maybe needed to do as much attacking as they are, but they've seen from that point that they can go for blood, and they have, right? Like, most of the good chances have been their way. They've had that Tenecti opportunity, but both times that our striker has been put through on goal, he's either waited too long to hit it and it's been blocked, or he's just scuffed it so far that it's more or less more like a throw-in on the far side than an actual shot. Absolutely legendary stuff, Kev. Interesting though. I'm sure there's some good battles going on in the Championship. I know Preston North End were playing in their derby yesterday. I was watching their game on YouTube. That was fun, I suppose. Yeah, I wouldn't even disagree with that. That's the fucking worst part, you know what I mean? Like, you think, right, like, cool, your league starts back up after the international break, you want to kind of stamp your authority. And, like, I was being like, you know, right, cool, we'll get the kind of calm 2-0 win. I don't think this is going to be as easy, but the reason it's annoying is the fact that we're sitting there watching this. St Mirren have scored 8 times to this point, and yet for whatever fucking reason, you know, they seem to be the more dangerous team, at least dangerous looking team in attack. We've had moments, like I said, I can't complain about the fact we've had more of the ball, but that means fuck all in football, right? You can have 80-90% of that shit and still lose the game. So for us, the big thing is obviously correcting that, maybe being a bit more potent with the second half press. Go for it, actually try and get a goal in the early stages of the first half first of all, because you don't want St Mirren getting more confident as the half goes on, because if that's the case, then, you know, well, everybody knows exactly what's going to fucking happen, right? They'll probably grab something late, and then this just becomes one of those, what the fuck, how did we lose this type of games? But we need to see signs of life, man. Kenny hasn't looked convincing, so maybe a Yamada switch wouldn't be too bad, or maybe pushing Maeda central and getting Barakwisha on, something along those lines could work for us, I think, and maybe we can get away with that then. But I just don't think Kenny's switched on now. Both times he's been pretty lacklustre in front of goal, let's say, so can have to factor that in. I seen that earlier on against Nottingham Forest. It was a good performance for the Forest boys, getting credit where it's due. Valid enough, man. Have some cough drops and Vapor Robin standby, shit's about to get freezing. To be fair, we only had like, what was as bad as it got for us? Like, in this area, maybe -6. I think it was as bad as it got for us. We had like a wee bit of a cold front coming, and nowhere near as bad today. It's like 5 degrees here, and it was relatively fine. The important thing, second half, is that the ball is in the net, you dicks. Exactly. Just get a goal. If we can get it early, fantastic. It makes life a lot more interesting and fun for us, but things could obviously be very complicated the longer we let this go. Oh. That was 2 days ago, Lowe's, but it was pretty decent. Didn't really get up to much, I just went down and visited family, basically. Nice, calm, quiet day, can't ask for much more than that. I just hope that there's some fucking, like, half decent stint in the second half, you know what I mean? Just 10 minutes where we pop in 2 goals and we'll take it. This is definitely going to be one of those more stale ass games for sure, though. Not enjoyable, but we'll kick on and hope for the best. 5 minutes or so until then. Oh shit, I just had that wire accidentally. I keep that out of the way. The curious thing will be if we make changes. I'd hope that we would anyway. Because I like the idea of pushing Maeda central, because he's not doing fuck all out in those wings anytime soon. We're just not funneling a lot of kind of balls out to that right hand side. If we're doing runs at them, always tends to be down that left with Tierney and Tenecte, so for me that's kind of the goal. Switch things up offensively, because fuck me, we're already pretty unconvincing at the back, so we need to have at least one part of the pitch where we're convincingly alright to watch, and it's not really been the case. The midfield's probably been the best part of the team to watch this game, but that's just because we've been good at holding up the ball and passing it around. But like I said, most of the touches came for basically fucking Tierney or Scales or basically one of the defenders. It's all well and good if you're spending a lot of the time in the final third on the opposite end, but the fact is most of the passing's just been around that midfield area just to try and keep Mirren from pressing us, which is fine if you're like 2-0 up and it's the 90th minute and you're just wanting to get across the line, but you're doing that for the fucking 15th onwards and shit gets suddenly way more complicated. We have our solution, Kev. Throw the man on the field and he'll fucking score a hat-trick, man. Can't wait to see him overhead kick it for 65 yards, top bins, off the ball, hits the fucking stanchion, clutches the keeper in the face and knocks him out as it rolls into the line. Just any, like, half-composed fucking finisher, man. Like, Tenecte's not getting a lot of supply lanes, he's doing a lot of the supplying himself, to be honest with you. He's the one that's trying to do a lot of the fucking runs to those bylanes to open up spaces. But I feel like you either get him more central where you can, so he can funnel more of those shots in, because that's the only thing that seemed to work for us in that first half. Or alternatively, like I said, push Maeda up, get Barley-Guiche on, you've got two more pacey wingers that are actually good at crossing. It doesn't mean Maeda has to cut in all the time, and more importantly, he can just time his runs off the back of whoever he needs to, whether that be Freckleton or Gogic or Fraser. He can certainly just kind of make that break in behind and use the kind of shoulders of the bigger boys to make it awkward for themselves, because again, he's got the speed to get into those spaces, but most of the time we're putting him into space, it's down that right hand flank where he has to take that touch and then cut inside. We don't want to really allow that too much, because it's really easy for them to defend those scenarios. It's the advantage of them having that system, with having, like, you know, John and my brain's switched off. I think that Bacchus fella as well, because they're just sitting in a little bit deeper, and then when they are attacking, you notice that they'll push as far forward as possible to almost keep our full-backs penciled in. So stop that at source as well. A couple of things that we could definitely tweak out and change 100%. I'm not stressed about it until St Mirren get that goal, but it seems right now, if you're being honest, if there's any team that looks more likely of getting the opening shot in, it would have to be the Saints. So, you know what I mean? Well, it would have to be St Mirren, technically, as I keep forgetting they're called the fucking buddies. Ah, nice to see you guys. I hope you're alright, man. Game has been very mid, I'll be honest. There's potential talks of Yang and Yamada being two of those changes. That'd be an interesting one. It's 5 in the morning, Jesus Christ. I know, David, very confusing kick-off time in a whole bunch of ways, but it's good that you've joined us, my guy. We'll be back on the way relatively soon. And then we only need to suffer through this for another hour at best. Hopefully at the end of it we got 3 points, that would be fantastic, you know what I mean? But the expectation is... it's quite low right now, let's be honest with you. We'll just have a little quick check to see if we gained any extra subscribers so far. Not as of now. Actually gained a couple after the last match because of my reaction to the fucking goals for Scotland and Denmark. I guess while we're on a little break here, if you have anyone that is a Celtic fan that you want to bring into the watch along, please consider sharing the little links out now. We peaked out about like 35-ish viewers so far, which is actually alright. Like I said, late kick-offs, so they're always mixed. It's like the worst type of stream right now, basically, so, you know, not expecting to be sitting here with hundreds of viewers or anything, but we had a couple of conversations about it earlier on, guys. It's one of those, right? Rangers rode the luck a little bit, but you know, it's one of those, to be honest. You shouldn't shut up about VEL being against you still, that's one thing I will say. You know, obviously I'm joking, but you know, it was a bit harsh on Livingston, to be honest with you. Like, it was quite a clear fucking handball. I don't understand why they didn't check it, to be honest, but it's one of those. You either get Easter out from the... Yeah, oh. So you're kind of a big deal. Oh, that wasn't Football Manager. I was going to say, oh, that was in my dreams, but it doesn't make too much. Oh shit, we did make changes. Looks like McCowan is going to be that switch. I wasn't expecting that to be the case. So, I'm curious then. We've took Kenny off for him. So I'm confused. Maybe we're going for a more 4-4-2 type of approach. I don't even think that much, right? We just took our fucking striker off by the looks of it. Interesting. Can't really argue with it, it's not the worst call in the world. We'll go back to the screen because we're just about to kick it off, by the way, so we should probably do so. Oh, the chills, I've seen that comment now. Fair enough, my guy, fair enough. Getting sick of the refs on 2 seconds, we were about to get on the way here. I'll say that first before I read any extra comments. Second half is officially underway. Now let's see what's happening. Getting sick of the refs in VR. Maybe our Rangers, man, that has to be something done because there's... yeah, I can't honestly disagree with that, man. It's fair to say that every team in the league has had decisions that are completely baffling, go against them and for them. That's a good start already. We're doing more than I thought we would. There's already an early chance. Maybe get a shot away here. Spilled across. Shot! How the fuck? Oh, Dyson, big man. This is... Oh, come on, man. Could have been ahead within the fucking 30 seconds. But once again, the delay of just getting the shot away cost us there. Rio does well with the ball over the top. It's not the worst idea to kind of spill into space. I think I might have been offside to begin with anyway. Guess we'll see when the replay comes back on. Yeah, it was offside, fuck man. But still, the fact that he didn't bury that, or at least get the shot away, is at best. I couldn't get more than 4 minutes with this switchcraft, I know. It just made me wonder what the fuck the front three's meant to be then. That's a good pass into space. Dyson gets ahead of his man, tries to make it awkward with Gogic. It's still kind of awkward as fuck. Bounces off of Gogic, he gets it clear in the end. But Celtic have came out and already looked a lot more potent in the first minute and a half than you can argue the entire 45. Passes with intent into the space, trying to actually use the wings. Like I said, that's, you know, we need to try and spread St Mirren apart here and force them to not be so condensed, because if you can get those little passes in behind them, there's a team that's there to be exposed. 100%. But likewise, we've got to be clever with where our positioning is. You don't want to let a loose ball in behind ourselves. Certainly caused damage that way. Tonight he tries to dance in behind. Good step in for Fraser. It's going to be a corner kick for Celtic though. You think Livingston deserved the draw, did they? Well, I suppose so. I mean, I've only seen little highlights of the game here and there. I can't attest for the full 90. I don't want to speak on a match I haven't seen, but you know, give your manager a little bit of credit at least, you know what I mean. Well, let's see where this corner's going to be swung in. Got on. Teeing this one up, whipped in with pace and cleared away basically the first hurdle. Oh fucking hell, tonight his touch is horrible and he doesn't do the best job of marking his man either. Ball sent forward and yeah, coming off for Ralston there, just cuts it, gets it back to Schmeichel with the ball for the back, but there's a temporary switch of systems here. McGregor drops back to help cover the space and eventually Scales just says fuck it and sends it forward. It's not actually a bad wee pass. Maeda could chase that down, but honestly good defensive hustling to kind of limit his run. By the time he gets past, it's more quite comfortably gathered by the goalkeeper of that. In that instance, unlucky, but it is what it is. Just shows how bad both the Rangers and Celtic are, because we both would have normally hammered St Mirren and Livingston in that ball. I guess. I mean, St Mirren are an okay side in their own way. Livingston is mostly their pitch, right? But you were at home today, so can't really use that. But technically, right now we're playing with no striker on the field. I'm confused about what the fucking lineup is, and more importantly where we're trying to funnel McCowan into space, because like I said, we took Kenny off. So Maeda's in there, Tonetti's still on the left, so what I'm imagining is that Allen's been pushed further up, McCowan's came in here. That seems to be the most like reasonable thing from what I'm seeing. There's an attempt to pass over the top there, but just a bit too overhit. Well, much better opening 5 minutes to this this half than the closing 15 from us in the first. Just a bit too snappy with the passes, trying to move a bit too direct, you would say. So yeah, I mean, passes exactly like that almost. Right idea, maybe just not the execution sent forward. That's a much better ball. Dyson's got the first touch, that's a good challenge as well. It's going to be a chase down here. Tonecti should beat his man. Fraser steps in front, throw in for us. Right on, or right beside the corner flag I should say. We could go for a long throw in ourselves here, but we never usually do. We tend to throw these short. He'll try duck and weave, find any open space that he can. Tierney puts his arms up like that as if to say, can I get some form of support? Tonecti eventually cuts in to help him. Turn the 63 rolls it back across, Rio. Good stab back, but again McGregor's not got too many options, plays it back towards the Japanese man, Scales. Eventually funnels a pass out, Ralston. Again, it's all well and good having the possession, but we're just going side to side and backwards. What the fuck's the point? Not the greatest first touch for Dyson, and he has to force his way back in towards the midfield almost. Eventually played out far side. They're just going for a life light. You got McCowan chasing down out there. Whatever wingers, well, whatever midfielder's spare basically has been forced onto that right hand side to chase in behind. It's an interesting tactic that we've gone with here, but it's kind of throwing St Mirren off. Sometimes it's Arn, sometimes it's McCowan. Well, even McGregor's pushed up the left hand side a little bit more. It's noticeable that we've changed the ways that we're approaching the final third, but still kind of the same effect once we get into it. Just one or two loose passes. Tierney might just have a crack. Deflection, if that went in, man, fuck me, what a week it would have been for him, but Tonecti might just let this bounce. Gets past his man, maybe a layoff or a cross at the least here. You've got to try and shovel it in somehow. That's the right idea for Tierney, just goes for a loft or tries to get someone in towards the back post, doesn't walk out at all. It's not dangerous in the slightest, and now St Mirren have a chance to break forward themselves. Stone Dolo Good pass across, good take and touch, shot for St Mirren's, deflected off of Tierney, and Rio's clearance isn't convincing, but should be retained by a Celtic body. What the fuck is Schmeichel so far off his line now? What the hell? Well, Celtic play for the back calm enough, and St Mirren more or less just accept that and drop back into their original positions. Yeah, it's already a much bigger difference. Passes in the final third. The wee stats just came up in the bottom there, so they have been a lot more effective in the opening stint, but kind of got to keep this up while limiting what St Mirren do. Good taking touch from Mandron, but it's stole, pickpocketed, and Tierney just plays it back towards Casper. Good pass into space, cuts an awkward figure there, and McGregor's pass isn't fucking, like, dude, that is just so lacklustre and poor. Have some fucking form of awareness there, man. Didn't try to look up or not, and just played it out without really making a good call of it. It's just put us under needless pressure. Good cut out there for Arn. McGregor, got to try and shift that faster, man. Eventually does. Tierney, Rio. I'm trying to redirect some movement down that left hand side. Again, it's just nobody seems to know where they need to be. One ball sent over the top eventually. Not cleared away comfortably. It's awkward, and Maeda's made it his ball. Does really well against the two man at the back there. Go to Jan Freckle, and both didn't look convincing enough there. Celtic still have it final third, but St Mirren won't mind as long as shots aren't coming in. Tenecte on the left. Tries to go past his man, does get past his man. Ball in isn't half bad, takes a deflection off the, I think it was Goic, so they got the boot away. And Celtic continue their little stint of sustained pressure. Definitely much better overall the opening 10 minutes of this one. It's definitely tweaked up to be a bit more, less individualised, I would say, Virtual. If you're looking at it tactically, it seems to be more or less trying to function with squares rather than triangles. Almost box it Mirren into specific areas of the pitch, force them to lose the ball. It's not too bad, but again, it just allows St Mirren to have that occasional chance to dance forward and can maybe do something with it. Trusty cuts it back towards Schmeichel. It's about just little moments like that. You allow St Mirren into space, they can maybe do something with it, but that time no real danger, to be honest with you. It was calm enough for Trusty just to get that one on it. Baggers. Gogic, good touch inside there, gets past his man and nobody really wants to take him on. That's a good step in eventually. A good work for Angels. Love to see that for him. Has a good run forward. That's going to be a takedown and a foul, surely. Yep, referee isn't going to waste too much time with that. I don't think it's a card. It certainly brings down our captain there. Maybe a chance for us to do something. A well-timed swung on ball could be interesting. You doing the Europa League game? I touched on it in the before the first half kicked off, but it will really depend. I've got some things I need to do beforehand on the day, and it will just depend on how I feel when I get back. And then I've got to be fucking got to be some of the day afterwards as well. That's awkward. Takes a bounce. It'll be a pretty busy Thursday and Friday stint for me for sure. That's why I said during the Kelly game that I would cover this one, just as like a middle ground. Obviously, this was going to be sent punty forward as far as fucking humanly possible, hopefully. We lost time for a cack-off, although it is what it is. Nice to see you, Flash. Hope you're well, my guy. Yeah, definitely a strange one for sure, but at the same time, well, the kick-offs have a different vibe to them, although this one, unfortunately, the vibe is stale. I'd say we've been a lot more convincing in the second half than we were the first. At least Mirren aren't trying to run away with the chances every few minutes, basically. It's more straightforward Celtic possession. I wouldn't say too many chances in this stint, but at least we're forcing the issue where we can. Just don't like this backward shit. It'd be great if we could limit that every now and then. Only really do it when we have to, because otherwise, what the hell is the point? McGregor. Scales. See, exactly that. What's the point in sending Tierney forward and then just stopping on it, spinning around and then passing it back? Now we've got Tierney about 20 yards fucking further ahead than Ralston in the defensive line out of shape. It's just, if you give the ball away in a silly area, man. So Mirren can expose that. Played out towards the left hand side. Tenecti. Has Tierney behind him if he needs it. Instead he opts to do overlap. It at least takes one man away. Still dancing about. Not the greatest passing towards McGregor. He does well to retain it, the skipper. Once again, side to side. Don't know what the fuck Dyson was trying there, but it was an attempt at something, so fair enough, I guess. Tierney does well to get in front of his man. Tenecti gets pushed off it like he doesn't even really exist. What the fuck, lad? So Mirren try to get it down the line in a way. Skills cuts across and intercepts, fair enough. I don't know, it's been a pretty boring game. It's probably the nicest way to summarise it, man. Stale as some old ass bread. Surprised Casper is playing, honestly. I don't mind it too much. I'll be honest with the exception of maybe that post chance that they had. There hasn't been too much that Casper has just honestly had to do, but had a good weekend start as well, Mars, man. It's good to hear. It's good for Tierney, just lays it across, nothing too. Don't trust it. Yeah, I was going to say, fucking don't let the man step in onto you, man. It's fucking stupid. All I'm doing is he's a big boy, but he moves quick. Don't like give yourself less time than you need. That's a decent pass in the space. A kind of half attempt for McCowan to get it forward towards Dyson, but overhit straight into the hands of George. Not like I had a long point written over every day of the week. Played short to Gogic, and they'll try a more kind of reserved way in. Oh, half crossing attempt now, doesn't work out. Schmeichel retains it. It's a really nice pass out for the back actually. I prefer this low ball out system that he's done because he hasn't missed one yet. That was calm. Ralston, good pass into space. Here's McCowan. Arns there if he needs him. McGregor cut across for Scales. Here's Tierney, good pass out. Tenecti should probably find a way to run inside and cause some problems here. Maybe a good pass. That's an alright ball into the box, not too bad. Cleared away in the end. Played short, Rio. Good ball into space, still dangerous, not cleared away. It's bouncing around. Somehow St Mirren have got it, and eventually they kind of hook it clear. Fortune probably favoured them just a wee bit where that could have bounced. Thankfully for them, it was into defeat one of their defensive men to get it clear off that space, I should say. And a few Celtic shots in there to make it awkward. That's a good steal from McGregor in the final third. Good pass out to the left as well to Necti. Again. That's another shot that's blocked. McGregor is appealing for something. He gets in front of the ball to steal that back. Great interception considering the fact he was surrounded by 4 or 5 shots. That is a horrible pass though, and just what the fuck is happening? It's either the pitch is that slippery that no one really knows where the ball is going, because there's about 6 or 7 missed touches for a mix of St Mirren and Celtic players there. Denecti's just been taken out by his own gravity again. He is made out of cheese. Has to be made out of cheese, there's no way he isn't. Tries to get the cross away, and yep, Celtic just cut that one out calm enough, and we'll try and build out for the back ourselves. People at the poker table with pocket aces be like. I love that one. Yeah. You wouldn't really call it a meeting, it was more like a meet and greet. And they did most of the greeting. The bitter bastards. It would just be nice if they could see some of the problems that we have. Because you get to the point where even the casual fans are realising it's a bit of a fucking problem now. That's when you know it's bad. That's a good pass across, you know, to it. Necti again. A lot of the attackings came down that flank, ball into the box. Dangerous enough, it's still not cleared. Oh my god, man, how are we not getting shots away here? Stabbed. Whipped back in, cut across, nobody is fucking there. It's so stale in the final third, man. McCall put some pressure on, I appreciate that. John does it well enough and calm enough job to get it up the pitch, and after a few bounce around, Celtic should retain it. Schmeichel just lofts it forward, but I think there's been a stoppage here. Yep, Freckleton's stayed down. There's claims of handball for McGregor's shot actually, and it does come off the hand. But, you know, natural positioning, it'd be very, very soft to give up. I think they just wanted to see if they could bluff people in person. And it backfired, honestly, because half of the stuff they were saying, it was just disrespectful in a lot of ways. It's like they think that we're all just football fans because like, we like watching people kick ball around. Like, no, most of us actually understand how behind the scenes stuff works too. So whenever they say shit like, oh, we can't spend money because of, we can look at numerous examples where they can be easily disproven by teams that are much smaller than us spending bigger amounts. So they came into that meeting thinking they could pull over the wool, or pull the wool over everybody's eyes, and nobody could be asked dealing with it, let's be honest. Young is on for Tenecti, so we've made another change offensively, and one that I understand, but it could still be very awkward. Some of them made a change themselves here. Lindolo is off, Ayunga is on. Freckleton's still on the sideline, but he looks like he'll be fit to continue his... Well, it looks like he wants back on the field, and on the field he is. You're priming up all of the Nestos. Oh god. Yeah, there's still time yet, but we are comfortably past 2/3 of this game, and there hasn't been a lot to smile about, to be honest with you. In fact, I'm pretty sure like any shot that we have had that you would consider on target has been blocked. I don't think George has actually had to make like a save. The same way you can say it for Schmeichel as well, right? Like, listen, Mirren had their stint in the kind of opening 30 minutes, the last 5 minutes of the first half, but second half it's more or less been one-way traffic, and Celtic have done basically nothing with it. Apparently that was what the foul was given, for fuck's sake. I thought he'd said something to the referee and that's why. Okay, very soft. Can't argue with it. Oh, both would clean your insides out like it was a fucking drain cleaner. Oh my god, it's gone into the fucking net. Mirren are 1-0 up, apparently. Unless it's been disallowed. Flag's gone up for offside. St Mirren had it in the net. I guess we'll see what it was. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he is offside, thank fucking Christ. Thank you, God. He kind of got in behind Scales and then just flicked it on. Or was it Scales that touched it, actually? It's hard to tell, honestly. I'm very confused by that. I think Scales might have put it in his own net, and if that's the case, then I'm going to be really pissed off, because how fucking dare you have a great week for Ireland and then come back and do that shit. It has gone to VAR, so could be potentially for a foul on Scales as well. There's a couple of scenarios that they're discussing right now. It's definitely Scales that gets the touch on it. It's hard to argue against that. It's just the case if it gets pulled back on the way down, that's probably what they're checking. I don't see any reason why this shouldn't stand. Which is exactly what I was talking about. You can't let this game get to the 70th minute and then concede a fucking random shitty goal. And of course, the only fucking time we shoot on target is our own fucking net. Unless there was a foul on the build-up, this goal will stand. Thank Christ. Yeah, they pulled it back for the original decision. They've gone with the offside call. Still annoying to see that though. I don't get what the fuck Scales was doing. I guess we'll get the lines a little later on. Fair enough. We definitely survived a scare though, for sure. Fucking dumb as hell. Why are you trying to stick your leg out and push a ball towards your own fucking net for there? Silly. It has been disallowed, you're fine, Shane, we're good. It's for that original ball into the box. Yeah, and there's a bit more clarification there, I suppose, but not too much. Scales definitely got let they definitely got let away with one there. Jesus fucking Christ. Do what you did for Ireland, man. Get knockdowns on the opposite fucking end. Stop with this pish. So we'll be making some changes. Dane Murray looks to be one of them. Mirren looks to be the other. Murray's on for Tierney. And Mirren is on for Ralston. What? What the fuck are we doing then? Like, the formation must be very confusing now, because we're just taking off a fucking right back for an advanced midfielder. That's an interesting one for sure. That entire VAR call was weird as hell, Because I thought they'd confirmed the offside first and they were looking for a foul or something, but I guess I was wrong. Scales runs forward. Yang, haven't seen too much of him since he's came on, so let's see what happens here. Good ball into space, good touch as well, shot, good save, still dangerous, and it's over hit. And once again, somehow despite it being a fucking attempted shot, goes out for a throw-in. That's twice this game that has happened, man. What the fuck? Did we just skip the finishing drills entirely, man? Did they even do any fucking training sessions? Deflected out, corner kick far side. Did he play nothing like how he did for Scotland? Because he wasn't starting against that game in that game against Denmark, and more importantly came on as a right back. It's been still for a good amount of them today. Not too many positives to say at all. I don't understand what the fuck my head is still doing on this pitch at some point as well. Maybe get him off a Balagwisha. But again, we've already fucking taken off our main strikers. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have just dissected our team for no reason. Why the fuck have we got Nygren on and then take Ralston off? We're playing with 3 at the back now, like, I guess. Like, I genuinely don't know. It's hard to tell. My guess is that we've dropped McCowan back and allowed Nygren into free roam, or that, or we've gone with a 5 at the midfield and a 3 at the back situation. It's confusing. But Tierney did just come off there, so, you know, factor that on. Well, that's a shot for range, I guess. I can't fault it too much. They did well to keep it down, but that's about as nice as I can be about it. To be fully honest with you, hard to be entertaining in a game that has been boring as fuck. Let's be real. Either goalkeeper still to yet actually make a save. There have been shots that have came off the post, shots that have been close. But neither goalkeeper has actually had to dive and make contact with the ball or tip it around the post. And that is dreadful. 15 minutes left, basically, give or take, for Celtic to get something out of this game, or St Mirren to steal something out of this game themselves. That's a good knock on by Rio. And another. Oh, come on! There's definitely a foul there. It might be outside the box. It's hard to honestly tell. There might be another VAR check to see if there's a penalty case for us. See, my head is on, say it's outside the box. Yeah, no, it should be a free kick. It does go down inside, but the contact starts outside, and I don't think Gogic is trying to actually trip him up. He more or less stumbles into him. Free kick it is. It's a good way to summarise it, to be fair. Just hope you're doing though. Hope you're doing good though, man. So yellow card for Gogic. Definitely stopped the run, so as a card, but he wasn't trying to be cynical about it. He did just fall into his man, so yellow seems about fair. And to be fair, set pieces for here, they can be good. We can do something with them. A nice, well placed shot can be problematic. At the very least, make the goalkeeper work. That'd be fantastic. And there's a few players that are within very capable range of scoring from here, absolutely. Oh, thanks a lot to say. I appreciate the update, Kev. Well, we got past the 20, that's more than fine. We need silence, yeah. But the strikers, I thought Celtic got either to replace Keogh when they got rid of them both, so no replacements. So, yeah, pretty much. That's why we'll need to be doing some strengthening in January, ideally. Looks like it's going to be a toss-up between Arm and Benji to take this one. Looks more favoured for the Belgian, but again, Nygren's opposite-footed, so could be a dummy situation or something like that. They're both capable. Well, any goal here would probably be enough to change the tide of the game in either team's favour. St Mirren probably getting to the point in the game where they realise, hey, look, a point's honestly not bad. They played well enough to earn it so far, absolutely. Unless there's a moment of class for on. Deflects. Off the wall. Love all that build up for nothing. A long left. You can see on that part of the screen there, mate. 78 minutes have been and gone. So I'd imagine with additional time, with the checks that just happened, probably, you know, you got that 12 minutes and then I'd say about at least 3 or 4 of additional time. Trust it. Up to cross, coming off. Well, it's been a week for late drama. It wouldn't be unlike Celtic to join in on that act themselves as well. Time's certainly running out. We have to go now. Ball across! Oh, that is. I'm going to fucking pray that McCowan just didn't see it, because if he stumbled to get to that, man, that's going to be so fucking irritating. It's a great ball into the box by Scales. It gets through it. Like, it's just that slight little touch on for Dyson as well. I think if he leaves that, honestly... Oh. Yeah, no, that makes sense why McCowan stuttered. Jesus, fuck, man. I thought it just got through cleanly. It wasn't. It was a pure flick on for Maeda that just took it away for the Scotsman. But I got opportunity though. So I don't know if I'd right the luck just once or twice themselves. Keep us in mind. Squad is at bare bones, so yeah, definitely feels like it. I don't get why we put Donovan on the bench if we had no intention of using him. Just feels like a wasted a spot that you could put like a youngster that maybe could have been impactful in this type of situation, especially up front. Tommy Fury Jr. Thanks, love to see you. Hope you well, man. Rio. It's actually had a solid game given the circumstances. One of the more adventurous passers in this match for sure. Can't complain about the way we've played for predominant parts of the second half, but it's the same issue with chance creation. We need to get something going. There's another shot that's blocked. I swear to God, man, it just seems to be the fucking theme. Pretty good, my guy. Stressed out about how this game is going. Not exactly ideal, and here's St doing the whole I'm down and have cramp Lamal, even though you've been running totally fine up till this point. Unless you took a sole one in the nuts. Nah, it hits him in the side, so he's just... Ain't that sort of brother. It's not a mitre ball and it's not for 2002, so... don't think there'll be any bruising. You watching this game alongside us, Tommy? What do you think of the game so far if you are watching it, man? Because it's been pretty stale for the most part. Celtic have again been a lot better in the second half, but to be fair, it's almost impossible to be any worse than we were in the first. Minimum is off as well as Richardson. It's going to be King and Taylor that's going to come on. And with just about 8 minutes left, whatever's left of additional time to play for, you feel like if there is a goal, it's definitely going to be the winner, 100%. Nice to see you, Gene. Pretty much as she just said, if a late goal would be fucking class. Absolutely boring. Yeah, it's kind of what happens when we're taking a striker off for some reason. I don't understand some of the substitutive changes. I get that our squad's a bit stretched in certain areas, but some confusing ones. It'd be nice for one of the youngsters to score. You'd love to see Murray pop up and get on the end of it. That's awkward. That is still awkward. The keeper bundles on it somehow. Jesus Christ, man, it was bottom up all around the box. Eventually Cam Very calmly collected by George. Actually, Jesus Christ, let's go through a sea of bodies to get it, but 2 hands on it, fair enough. What's going on with Martin O'Neill being a Celtic manager? I think it's just for the vibes, to be honest. Just to restore some morality after all the shit that went down with Rodgers and the board argument wise. Oh, for fuck's sake, Aaron, that is bad, man. He just slips and gives the ball away. Chance for St Mirren to counter attack if we lose like this. Good save, Schmeichel. What the fuck are you doing, you Belgian top? That never do that again, man. Tried to be pure fancy, stepped to the side and slipped on his own arse. Like, bro, you got defeated by your own fucking inertia. Rio's doing everything in his power to get through here, but he gives the ball away silly. Great, well, that's just not looking convincing at all. Can somebody get out and cover that fucking flank? Jesus Christ. St Mirren, edge of the box, shot, deflected, still not cleared. Still not cleared, and eventually hit hard and high and over and nowhere near the net, but... bruh. Just straight up bruh. Look. Nah, for me it was always the pure bright yellow meters, man. You got hit by one of them. You'd see your family lineage flash before your eyes. Wouldn't be surprised if they sold instead of got players like Maeda. Can you explain to me what's going on with the board to understand properly? To summarise it in brass tacks, because I mean, I don't want to spend 5-10 minutes yapping on when there's only 5-10 minutes left to the game. We have a good amount of money that we should be investing into the team. We haven't done that. That's obviously cost us a lot in terms of European pedigree, especially this season with losing to Kairat and embarrassingly getting dumped out before we're even in the tournament. The lack of investment for the players that we sell on is very noticeable because we're selling our players like O'Reilly and all that for good amounts of money just to get fuck all out of it, essentially. You know what I mean? It just sits in the bank and they pure sit there and go, oh, look at how good we're doing, even though it's usually the managers that do all the fucking investment that get the team running to a certain degree, and then those players get sold out and replaced by ones that are push. Well, we got Donovan on for Arn, so I guess he does get to grace the field, but in case he decides to do in that final stint, I need too much time. What's going on with Joe? Injury. He got injured even before the end of last season. He's been out for a while, but he should be due back either, hopefully, fully fit anyway by the end of January. That's a good ball into space. Please, dies in. Please, dies in! Oh, that's a great challenge at the end. And of course he goes down like he's been crippled. I don't even think Maeda touched him, I'll be honest with you, but it's a great ball into space. Can't argue with that. Maeda made it awkward, and yeah, doesn't really get touched by Maeda at all, but he buys an extra minute off the clock, I guess. Well timed step in. Johnston's out for another while yet. Carter Vickers is he's done until the end of the season basically, so we're probably going to need another centre back at least, just for the sake of depth. Although honestly, I just recall fucking just getting that Kravitsky bag for loan. Maybe fine. When there's a transfer window open for us, January. Oof, it was slightly over it anyway, and I think Mandron might have been offside, so wouldn't matter too much. Ain't a lot of time left in this one at all though, that's for damn sure, and if we want a goal it's going to have to come now. So they're throwing probably as many bodies forward here as possible. 7 minutes just been and gone. There's going to be a set piece swung in here. Try to find anyone that's available or open. As long as they can get a knockdown, they'll probably fancy their chances to win the second ball. It's not really the cross they were hoping for, and Celtic can close that space down. It's still dangerous enough that they'll bounce around. It's more of a half half-pecked shot, to be honest with you, and not too threatening at the end. One of the Mirren and Celtic players just we exchange your words there as they got up off each other there. Interesting. And dance forward here, that's a good pass. Going. Donovan. Overhit to fuck, well that's fantastic. Brilliant work, McCown. What the fuck was it like, dude? Stale. Very, very stale, man. Yeah, I'd take the Polishman every day of the week first cut. Welsh is, I mean, bringing him back probably caused more fucking problems, let's be honest. No, the ball can't sit there and say that we're bullying him now. Shit like this happens way too often for it to be funny. In the game in hand that we had over Hearts, we do not capitalise on whatsoever unless we score late. Which still really wouldn't cover up the cracks of what this game has exposed. So Mirren are trying to dance forward with the kin here. Low cross into the box should be easily cut out there in this. Rio. Lads, why are you being so fucking still with the passing? Like, you have to start going forward. Scales, long switch, Colby's got it far side. Oh, for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ, he nearly slipped on the pass back and it would have let Mirren run through it. Trosty's touch is well over fucking, dude, this is what I'm talking about. You cunts are literally fucking up the bare minimum basics of control. Just getting the ball into their feet seems like an actual task to them, man. See fellas in Sunday League control the fucking ball better than this. Nah, we won't take Kyogo back and go fuck himself for the shit he said after he left. So Mirren getting a wee bit floppy there. But you need to get someone to actually invest. Like, I get what the board are saying, it's like, fuck man, if we got a good enough offer, we'd sell it in a heartbeat. That's a lot of money to part with, so if someone wants to say what the fuck it... Scales has done everything in his power to make that shit as awkward as possible, man. Right in front of Schmeichel and everything, has to pop it up and away. Mix of him and Murray, pure try. It's not good at all. We've got 4 additional minutes of added time and that is it. Well, there's not a goal at the end, that's it. You've got to say stay last performance. And a pretty pointless live because I just sat here and watched this genuinely do nothing of fucking note. Not a single shot that the St Mirren keepers actually had to save. All of them have been blocked or overhit. If anything, this will just give Hearts the incentive to go on and win tomorrow. Restore that little gap back. Keep St Mirren their credit though. They were really good in the first half. Much different in the second, it has to be said, but give them credit for how they played in the first 45. Oh Jesus Christ lads, can you stick a fucking leg out, man? Good save Schmeichel at the near post. I am getting fucking fed up with how easy it is for you wee rats to get fucking like danced past. Just dropping your shoulders and letting them through. What the fuck are you doing there, lad? Seriously? You think there'd be some fucking urgency amongst any ease, man? It's just, oh, we'll lay it off, we'll fucking wait side to side, maybe pass it out. Like, that's is shite. Every fucking one of you cunts are miserably bad at the game. Got both sets of players flopping and diving all around the fucking field, man. How about you just try and keep the fucking flow of the game going and actually try and string together more than 2 passes without looking like a bunch of sad, pathetic cunts. Paid professionals, by the way, man. Wow. Tommy, if you want to know, just go and search it up, man. It's open access. But when he joined Renzi, he was basically like, yeah, I wanted out of the club anyway. I was better than that, to summarise it nicely. Which, to be fair, he probably isn't fucking wrong about, because look at this shit. So Mirren, of course, decided to bring on substitutes now. It's obvious why that's been happening. There should be an extra 30 seconds on top of the 4 then. So 2 minutes for here, basically. What the fuck is this, man? It's just bounce around bullshit. It's just not good at all. Big deflection, stowaway. That should be a throw in far side. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That's very kind of you, mate. That's genuinely really kind of you. Hope I use a pain. It does a bit, but it's certainly something you don't need to do, my guy. Thank you very much. Who's the ones that have been gifted? We got a big Rab, that's deserving. Hell yeah, good to see you. Welcome, man. You've now got access to emotes and badges. As does Cara, as does Michael, as does Bonzi Boy. Haven't seen him in chat, so he must be one of those locker types. Love to see it. And David Johnston as well. Class. Welcome to y'all. Watching Celtic has become stressful. It's definitely not a hobby for the week, especially this season. Didn't deserve the points. Honestly, I think most of us are on agreement, unless there's something in the next 10 or 15 seconds. Trusty. Played across. It is do or die basically now or never. Whipped across, flicked up and away. McGregor, first touch isn't great, but he holds it so. Ah! Yes! 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 McGregor's just scored a fucking belter! 94th minute winner! There's something about Scotsmen striking it for age! It's done! What a stay-last performance, but what a captain's goal! We win it right at the death! Martin O'Neill barely reacts, man, but what a fucking strike! St Mirren will be broken in half by that, man. You feel like they deserve the point at least. But McGregor skips past his man, hits it hard, hits it with everything he's got, and it sails in. What a fucking hit. We said we needed that moment of individual brilliance about 10 minutes ago. There it is. Somehow it's happened. I do love a late winner. Let's fucking go, man. Wasn't stressed at all. We had this in the bag the entire time. Didn't see that coming. Well, I don't think George did either, because that shit flew past him. I love you, Callum McGregor. Oh, you fucking dancer, man. He knew that he just had to hit that. As soon as he got past, there was no one in front of him. He just had to swing at it and hope that it went in. And it was an absolute fucking well-placed shot. Now we just need to hold up. Please, do not fuck it for like there's about 10 seconds left. Sounds like a great game, dreadfully bad. Holy Christ, I'll be honest with you right now, big ups. It has been a very confusing performance. But we get across the line. It's full time here, boys. We've managed to do the job. I mean, Stephen Robinson's men, they can give themselves a pat in the back in the sense of the fact that they fucking played alright for about 60 minutes, but the last half an hour was pretty much one-way traffic, and Celtic just about gets across the line thanks to a Callum McGregor wonder goal once again. That is a massive, massive goal, because what it does for the table is pretty significant. Let me just pull the table up on the Google feed, because that makes the most sense to me. Let me just do that now. There is a huge yes coming, do not get me wrong, just bear with me. I am absolutely going to be doing that. But if you want to look at the table and what it means, let's just pull that up here. You can take a little gander at that. It means that we're well, 4 points off, but Hearts do have their game that they play against Aberdeen tomorrow. was both of us won the day. Exactly it, man. Like, do you know what? That's probably the best way to summarise it, guys. Celtic and Rangers did not deserve to win the day, but we fucking somehow did, and that's honestly fine. I'll take it, right? We've got our karma just, we'll take it. I don't care. It's time for me to, very loud yas. Thank you, CalMac. We're not going to no deserves any points. Yeah, that was a draw written all over it. However, who cares? We win. Yas. Right. You know the drill. That's the wrong. I just realised that's the wrong fucking screen. That's the right one, so you can see your charts a lot better. Righto, chaps. For whatever the fuck that was, I guess. Yes! Yes! Thank you, McGregor. You fucking beautiful bastard, you man. Jesus Christ. Things you love to see. Things you love to see. Callum McGregor, wonder goal. I cannot believe that somehow we did. We also got 5 gifted right beforehand to make my depression disappear, and now my depression has vanished well and truly. Jam thoughts will lose. I mean, who knows? It's open to interpretation. Aberdeen aren't great, but they have been in form. They've picked up wins where they've had to. I mean, Hearts have drawn twice in the last 3, so another drop 2 points wouldn't be too bad for us. And I mean, fuck me, we're about 30 seconds away from having the same fate ourselves. I know it doesn't show the stats in that one, but it should give you a more rundown. Literally, the second shot that we actually got through the wall. We're in! Well, that, man, fantastic. We take it, right? As something, little. I just realised there was a table hang here that I could have used. But yeah, can't really complain at that. I suppose we can keep that up for now when we go onto this screen. Rangers didn't deserve to win. Do you think we did? Do you think we played well there? I'm pretty sure there are people that would have preferred to have strapped themselves onto a fucking chair made out of nails and watch paint dry before ever witnessing whatever the hell that was ever again. I feel bad for St Mirren, but at the same time, how the fuck did they not get something that game? That's down to them. That's them not taking their chances. And to be fair, I feel bad for that McMenamin. He could have easily got one if he'd scored that one for range. Fair enough. But McGregor shows him how it's done. There's only one Mick that's going to fucking do anything, and it's no McMenamin, it's McGregor. The better man. On the day, thankfully, we managed to win, so I'm happy. What is the points get? Or what's the point? I'm going to presume you mean what's the point difference. Right now, 4 points. But we're all squared up in terms of games played. So say Hearts lose tomorrow, Celtic win that extra game in hand that we've got, which would come at some point in December, you would imagine. We would be within a point of them, which is pretty nice considering the fact that it was 9 points less than a few weeks ago. So can't really complain about it at all. You know what I mean? Unbelievable is probably the best way to describe it. Man, it's a fucking excellent end to the game. Considering the fact how stale most of that was, we'll fucking take it. We'll take it every day of the week. 95th minute, wonder goal from our captain. Like I said, for those that are just going to be departing the now, rather than seeing the stream out, I should point out, for the next game, the 27th, there is a chance that I won't be live for it. I've got things to do in terms of health earlier in the day, so that might need to be prioritised in case I come back and I'm not feeling too great. So just keep that in mind. Although, like I said, if you have the little bell notifications on, I should check to see if anyone's subscribed, and if anyone has, I'll give them a little thank you, or just at least a little bit of acknowledgement. Yeah, well, we gained 1, so to that one person, thank you very much. That's unbelievably kind of you. To anyone that's liked, or importantly the 5 gifted members, thank you very much, man. That was unbelievably kind of you, Kev. As always, brother. But yeah, there's a chance I won't be live for that one, but if not, then I'll be live for the next one afterwards, which would be, let me just pull that up for you now, the one on the 30th. And a pretty interesting one. It's at Easter Road against a team that is potentially threatening to us, although to be fair, like I said, they have that extra game in hand played, and we'll have to make our ends meet. But going to Easter Road and getting a result there would be quite nice, although based on the way we played today in Paisley, not so much. I think everyone except Hearts fans wants Hearts to drop points in some way. Obviously, for Celtic and Rangers and Hibs, it's good for the sense that it keeps the table closer. But again, Hearts have they've been a little iffy at times, especially over the last few weeks. So I guess when you consider that, just keep an eye on it, see what happens. If they do decide to make a mistake, then yep. Also, will probably beat the uninspiring Aberdeen. I mean, the supporters, even though they got a Scottish Cup, they want the manager gone. I suppose. But it's just because they had a very stale start to the season. They've picked up good form in the last few weeks. The case if they can continue to do that. If they can, then sure, certainly problematic. But like I said, if it's not this one, or the final one, I should say, in the 27th, I'll definitely be live for that one. So I suppose we'll throw this over to you boys. If there's any questions you want to ask before I wrap this stream up, you have about 3 minutes, give or take, to do exactly that, and then we'll bail out and let you enjoy the rest of your night. It's been a very, very interesting one, but hey, we'll take a McGregor goal at the end of the game. This entire VOD will be basically just for that one fucking moment at the end. I just want to kind of put it out to chat to see if there's any last second questions that needs to be thrown in. If not, then I'll be wrapping up soon. But yeah, I think there is only one man of the match for that one. Has to be him for that goal at the end, right? I don't even need to say his fucking name. He's the only one that actually popped up then and not. But give credit to a few of them. Some good passing for Rio in that game as well. Can't really take too much away from him. Maeda was okay. Tenecte, okay. I mean, that's probably the best way to describe it across the board, right? Everyone was just okay. Nobody was great today. Shortest highlight reel ever. I say pretty much, man. If I was to get then saw the fucking highlights down, it'd be like, Mirren at the post. Mirren. Like, had that, the fact they had that fucking chance first, that one across the face of the 6-yarder, but they've just missed a cell, they've just hit the post, we've just scored in the 95th minute, and then highlights done. Can't wait to see how Sky Sports tries to drag 3 minutes of highlights out of that. It'll be fucking interesting for sure. If that's you, Farry, you enjoy yourself, man. See you after. Oh, I suppose we'll just wrap things up here then. Yeah, I just don't tend to try and date as much while I'm live anymore for obvious reasons. But still, yeah, on occasion, like I won't sit there and pretend otherwise. But ever since health stuff a while back, you know, you kind of need to prioritise all things in there. But yeah, of course, my match has to be the whole St Mirren team. Yeah, I would say for St Mirren it would probably be that. Maybe Freckleton. I think he was quite good today. Definitely one of the ones that were quite fun to watch. Had 1 or 2 half chances and not bad for a centre back. But yeah, I think that covers everything that needs to be covered. I suppose you can go and get yourself a nice wee smoke tonight, Michael. That should be your game plan, my guy. It's not going to be a protest. It's just basically, it's just I just don't date it, you know, on camera as much, I guess. Still do what I have to do when I need to. But yeah, I think that covers everything. That's very kind of you, Kev. I appreciate the gifted members, and if anyone of you are in chat or one of the ones that have been gifted of him, be sure to thank him at some point. It's a very, very kind gesture, mate. You're absolutely top class for that. Been well impressed with real impressed, sorry, with St Mirren for the last 4 seasons. Genuinely, yeah, no, that someone said that earlier on, we should be beating teams like Livingston and St Mirren and all that, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess it makes sense, but St Mirren are a team that tends to always be like bouncing between top half of the table, bottom half of the table, but they always tend to be like top 6-ish. They're an alright wee side when they play well, but today was one of those games where both teams were lacklustre at best, and again the only thing that saved us was, like I said at the start of the stream, St Mirren don't score many goals. They only scored 8 to this point, so I think that was just more of a mentality thing for them rather than a ability thing. And they'll kick on once they do find like a way to get 3 points. They'll figure their shit out, but they just need to break that, you know, break their own goal duck essentially. And if they can, who knows? Stephen Robinson can still push to be in the top 6 by the end of by the time the split comes, I should say. Oh, case in point. But yeah, Livingston, I can agree with. St Mirren not so much, because they're actually not a right weak side. But I think that's everything that needs to be covered here, so let's just get that running. Good time for a couple of things you love to see. Whoa. Probably the best time for that to happen right before the end of the stream. But yeah, might as well wrap this up now. So, for anyone that has been here for the whole stream or for just a little bit of it, thank you, you're very much appreciated. Thank you again, Kev, for those gift deeds, mate. That's always very, you know, very nice to see. Like I said, I might be live for the final game, it'll just depend on circumstance. If not, you'll probably see me on the last day of November for that. Well, not the last day of November, the 30th of November, I should say, for the game against Hibs. I was like, my brain fucking switched after. I was like, who the hell are we against? Aye, Easter Road. You keep that in mind. Just want the Europa League over. Fair enough, man. Will we push on? It'll depend. We need to beat Feyenoord and they're a good side, especially at home, so... But CalMac, yeah, the answer is probably the best way to summarise this up, please, 100%. But yeah, like I said, just keep your notifications on, little bell thing beside the subscribe button if you want notifications for when I go live. So if you want to watch the final game alongside us, you can, if I go live for it, obviously. If not, you'll definitely most likely see me for the one on the 30th. So you enjoy yourselves, take it easy, and as always, Celtic are still the best goddamn team in the world. Thank you, Callum McGregor. You enjoy your night, lads. Take it easy. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Hail, hail. Have a good one. Good shot. We'll take it. We'll take it. Good one.